So our next important topic is this one, design, drawing and safety. So we have 10 topics in the engineering prelims examination, we all know that, and out of the 10 topics this is one of the topics. And if you count, if you count from the last year question papers, so there are approximately 20 questions. 20 questions came from this particular topic. And remember, this is 20 questions, not 20 marks. So that means it's showing its importance. And out of these 20 questions, here the topic name is design, drawing and safety. And out of these three components, this drawing, out of drawing we got 8 questions. So 8 questions came from this drawing itself. So this drawing part is very important here. And as you know, remaining articles we have written in terms of the material, but whereas for the drawing it's very difficult to represent in any article. So that's why we are trying to make a video for this drawing. And here again, this engineering drawing I would like to divide it into 3 sections. So the first section is, I will make the first section as the engineering curves, because if you observe, from the last year questions, most of the questions asked from the engineering curves. So the first section, that's why I would like to make it into curves. So these are the engineering curves. So under this topic, I would like to deal, so many engineering curves that we use in our daily applications, and we would like to see how to utilize those curves in the different applications. And we also try to look into the previous questions and along with the possible questions that can be asked in this year based on this engineering curves. And then the next topic I would like to take upon is projections. So here in these projections, we have orthogonal and as well as isometric projections. So in the orthogonal projections, we first start with the point projections, and then we will take up the line projections. Because if you could recollect, last year there was a direct question on this line projections, and then there are some questions on the plane projections also. And if time permits, I would like to cover even solid projections also. Let's see if time is there, I would go and cover that also. And the third section I would like to cover here is surface developments from the given bodies. So here I will call this chapter as developments. So this is the surface developments, and this chapter, actually this is interlinked with the first chapter, because many times the questions are combined from this first section and the third section. So there is no clear distinction when we deal the questions. So but here I would like to deal this section separately so that you will get a clear understanding. And whenever you see the questions, the combination with the curves and the developments, then one can easily identify and can solve the problems. So these 3. And so first I will start with the engineering curves here. So in the engineering curves, we have many curves, starting from the conic curves, and after that we will come across the cycloids, and then involutes, spirals, and then helix. So we here in this session we try to see how to draw different curves, and then its properties and its applications. And apart from these, I would like to deal how these questions can be asked in the exams. So under different engineering curves, first we start with the conic section. So conic section, under conic section, the curves formed using the conic section is called as the conic curves. So how to form these conic curves? So in these conic curves, we will take a cone, and we will take a one plane. So by cutting this cone at a different plane angle, then you can get different conic curves. So, and can we cut any cone? So I said here I mentioned that we need to cut the cone using a plane. So here when I say cone, that is a right circular cone. So what is the right circular cone? So for example, this is a general cone, and in this general cone, this is called as a generator. Here, why this is called as the generator? So by taking this line, this is slant surface, if you turn this line like this, then you can form a cone. And here, this is the vertex. Here, this is the vertex, and this is the, of course, base, and this is the axis of the cone. And in the right circular cone, the base is the circular one. So the base is the circular base, and in the circular base you can see like this. The base would look like this. So this is the base, and this is the circular one. And in the right circular cone, the axis joining the vertex to the base passes through the center of the circle. So this is the circle, and this is passing through the center, and as well as this axis is perpendicular to this base. So this is called as a right circular cone. So in this right circular cone, depending on our angle of the cutting plane, you will get different types of conic curves. So this is the about conic curves. And before moving further into the conic curves, here I would like to spend some time on the cone itself. So how to generate a cone? Why? Because if you observe last year, there are approximately 2 to 3 questions directly on the cone itself. So how to generate a cone? So as I already explained, we will take a generator. Generator is nothing but a simple line. So here what I take is a simple line. I will take a simple line like this, and I will rotate this simple line, and while rotating this simple line, it always passes through the constant point, that is nothing but a vertex here. So this generator always passes through this one and rotate. It rotate like this. So it's rotating like this. It's rotating like this, and it's always passing through this point vertex. So in the process, what happens? In this case, it came like this, and here it came like this, and it reached this point. And when it is rotating here, it should cut a plane here. And for example, if you don't take any finite length of the generator, then it can extend to any length up to infinity. But we cannot take infinity cone. That's why here it should cut a plane. So here I will take a plane like this. So wherever it's forming the closing side, this is because by taking this curve, I close the curve. I close the cone curve. So this closing curve is called as a directrix. This is called as a directrix. So here this is a generator, and this is rotating about a fixed point vertex, and here on the other hand it's having a closed curve, that is called as a directrix, and here it's rotating like this. So by this we can form a cone. But here if you observe the directrix, this curve is any shape. This is just some random shape. So that's why this is called as a oblique cone. In this case, this is called as a oblique cone. But instead of this one, I can form the cone, and here in this case, which type of cone we want? We want right circular cone in this case. So how to form a right circular cone? So for the right circular cone, what I take is, I will consider a right angle triangle like this. I will consider right angle triangle like this, and I will fix this line. I will fix this line and I will rotate this plane like this. So by rotating, by making 360 degrees, I will get a cone like this. Finally, I will get a cone like this. Why this is in the dotted line? Whenever you cannot see any solid other side, then that would be represented in a dotted line. So now I form a cone like this also. Here in this case, this bottom is not a oblique plane, but instead this is a circular. Clearly it's a circular base, and this is the axis whichever I fixed. This is a fixed one while rotating this one, and this is nothing but an axis, and here in this case this axis is perpendicular to the base, and it is also passing through the center of the circle. That's why it's called as a right circular cone. So that is how we form this one. And here every time it's very difficult to rotate this particular right angle triangle. So what we can do is we can form cone in another way also. So how to form a cone again? So I will take one more thing. So for example, so this is a sector of a circle. I have a circle like this. And from the circle I will cut a sector. So this is called as a sector. This is simply a sector. And if you unfold, then it will become a circle. So I have taken a sector, and if you can recollect from our cone, what is this one? This is the lateral surface L, and this is the base, and this is also lateral surface L, and this is our vertex here. Vertex, let's say this is a V. So I want to form exactly cone like this from this one, this sector. So how to form this? What I do is, observe clearly. This when I turn like this, I will turn like this, and I will make a cone like this. So this is looking like a cone now. So see, this is a cone. How I form a cone here? This is the cone. So when I formed cone like this, this is the nothing but a lateral length, lateral surface. So this is one lateral surface, and this is the other part of lateral surface. When it is being a sector, these two lateral surfaces are different. But whereas when I turn this sector into a cone, these two surfaces are becoming overlap, and they both represent now only one lateral surface. Okay, so this is becoming the lateral surface, and this is becoming the base. If you see here, wait a minute. So this is the base. Okay, this is the base. So this is very simple one. See, you take a sector from a circle and you just turn this one into a cone. So when we make this one, I would like to form a relation actually here. Why I would like to form a relation between the sector to a cone? We will see last time there was a question directly asked from this concept. So now what I do is, so originally this is my sector. So originally this is my sector, okay? And let's say the angle here, this is the angle. So here the angle is theta, and this is the length L, and this is the length of the sector. For example, I will say this is the S. Okay, so we know relation between these three. How to derive relation between these three? So L equal to r theta, r the length of this length of this sector S equal to L into theta. Okay, so if you want to find out the angle theta, then theta equal to S by L. So this is this relation we deduced only by using the sector. Now I turn this sector into a cone. So when I turn sector into a cone, so this is my cone, and here in this case, fortunately this cone turned into a right circular cone here. So this is my cone, and when I molded the sector into cone, this is my L, and this angle we don't know. Here please note down that this theta is different from this angle. Here this angle is called as the steradian. Why? Because if you see from your own eye, it's no longer in a 2D, but whereas here this is in a plane. This angle is in a plane, but whereas the angle subtended by this circle at the cone vertex is not a plane, not in the plane. That is called as the steradian. Okay, let's not go into that detail. So here, this is the radius. This is the radius r. So now I would like to find out the relation between r and L. How to find out relation between L and r? So if you observe, when I turn this sector into this one, this is nothing but this whole S is becoming the circumference of this circumference of the cone of the base of this cone. So what is the formula for a circumference of this cone? So circumference C equal to 2 pi r. But here 2 pi r is nothing but this length. Why? Because when I turn like this, whatever we are getting at the base is nothing but here this one. Okay, so this is nothing but here yes, and let's say this is the equation 1, and this is the equation 2. So from equation 1 and 2 I can write theta equal to, if I substitute S into this equation, then it will become R by L into 2 pi. Here this theta in the radians. So here I would like to convert this theta into degrees. So how to convert theta into degrees? By multiplying 180 by pi. So here what I do is R by L into 2 pi 180 by pi. So this pi will get cancelled, and here finally you will get R by L into 360 degrees. Okay, this is the relation that we deduce from this these two. So here I would like to recollect one question that was asked in the last year.